Love me like a ghost, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost, yeah. Oh yeah. Just hold on, baby, I'm looking for you lately. It's been a little crazy, but maybe that's okay. Beauty like the sunrise, eyes like the moonlight. Hold my hand, it's alright, yeah. Love me like a ghost. With you I get chills. Ooh, I love the thrill, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost. Never let me go. Walking through these walls, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost. With you I get chills. Ooh, I love the thrill, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost. Walking through these walls. Never let me go. Please don't close your eyes tonight. I need you by my side. Just hold on, baby, I'm looking for you lately. It's been a little crazy, but maybe that's okay. Beauty like the sunrise, eyes like the moonlight. Hold my hand, it's alright, yeah. Love me like a ghost. With you I get chills. Ooh, I love the thrill, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost. Never let me go. Walking through these walls, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost. With you I get chills. Ooh, I love the thrill, oh yeah. Love me like a ghost. Walking through these walls. Never let me go. has brought me out of me. My love for you has brought me out of me. My love for you has brought me out of me. My love for you, 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 my prettiest jeans. I get that from my dad. I'm not far from the tree. I flow like I'm a butterfly, sting like a beamer. I hate features. Done my running around with my head in the clouds. Been lost and then found. When they woke up and frowned, tell myself I'm the man. I was right to be left. Now I'm back to myself. Who am I to keep on holding you from everything you want? I can see you want to, but you won't. Who am I to? Who am I? Da, 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 da. Who am I? Da, 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 da. Who am I to keep you in the looking right, left, going straight. Don't know where to go, wanna hide away. I'm reflecting myself. You are no good for me. Super dangerous man. Am I? Keep you in the keep you in the
I've always been one of those, like, I prefer being complete as a player, so I don't like ignoring a role. I've been around esports for a long time. I've done a lot of stuff to try and encourage it. Like my first esports tournament was in 1998. To see Belong doing this kind of thing, to have it in a city and have a company get behind and finally push it out for anybody to come in and play. Like, it's not like the guys here are all like, you know, amazing players the moment they walk in. Some of them play once a week or once a month, or a couple of them have never played before when they come in. Come in for community night, pick up a team, they're hooked. That's it, right? I love it. I'm really, really proud to take part of it, to be honest. This is mostly grassroots, right? But the thing that's coming out of it, which is really cool for me, as much as it's like a bit beyond my level now, but teams like Stratford and a couple of other teams at the real top of Championship Overwatch. Can't speak for the other leagues as much because I haven't watched them, but I know some of them are getting there as well. But specifically Stratford and a couple of other teams are really getting like semi-pro, pro level gameplay. And it's really, really cool to see that coming out of a grassroots tournament. It means they smash us when they play us, but just to watch them go against the other big teams. It's like watching United and City go against each other. You know, it's really cool.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Belong Arena Clash. I'm Digital Bacon. Joining me in the commentary booth today is going to be the Eternal Jay. And Jay, we've got two fantastic games coming up, dude. How excited are you for this?
Very excited. It's week 2, back at it once again. Hopefully bringing the second match this time. Of course, our small technical issues have been sorted from last week, so we should be ready to rock and roll with some really big matches to take hold of, Bacon. Of course, we have got the best of the arenas from the Belong arenas across the UK taking part in one, being National League, and of course, the best 2 competing at Insomnia 65 for that Grand Championship. Of course, we only showed one match on a stream last week, so we'll kind of take you through some of the results of the other matches that we didn't get to show. Obviously, we're taking a look at Group A with the Pirates, probably the team that we expect to be the favourites in this group in this whole tournament. Currently coming out on top with their first win, as was standard. We did watch that matchup, and behind them, of course, is the Vikings side as well, with Swarm and Rams not quite getting the greatest start in week 1.
Yeah, and of course, Claymores didn't get a match in week 1. That was their bye week, but this is a team that definitely is also one to watch out for. Looking at Group 2, we've got the Hunters, we've got Harriers, Lionheart, Spartans, and Smugglers. And dear God, Jay, this is one stacked AF group that if there ever was one.
Yeah, we're going to get the chance to see Spartans and Lionhearts take each other on a little bit later. We'll get into more details as the time comes around. Looking for their first victory. Lionhearts looking for their first match as a whole. Taking a look at Group 3. The Steelers and Guardians going to blaze the trail ahead at the moment. Currently with their first couple of victories against the Saints and the Kestrels. Enigmas, I was almost going to see them last week, but they didn't end up playing their matchup. So, yeah, they're still sitting in the middle of that table with 0-0 right now. I think they are this week, but we'll get to see them a little bit later on during the course of the league. And of course, Group 4, Centurions and Nighthawks leading the charge as we expected in this particular group. So far, I wouldn't say there's anything out of the ordinary here, Bacon.
No, everything seems to be going along as expected. Of course, you had seen in that intro sort of video that this is grassroots as well as proper pro competition. We have got the whole range here. Grand champs all the way down to, I've even seen a few gold players in the mix, Jay. And it's just a great little community that's been building out of every Belong center. And of course, it's all about the competition because there is a lot on the line here. But let's get talking about that first match coming up on the stream. We've got London Lionhearts versus the Stratford Spartans. Now, Jay, this is not just a London rivalry clash. It's also one between us casters because we got asked, what jerseys do we want? I went for London Heart, of course, my boy Banana Man on that squad. And you went for the Spartans.
Yeah, man, I'm getting my Spartan jersey soon. My hometown heroes, literally East London sort of gangsters, essentially. Like, you know, I'm an old fogey in that sort of respect. But yeah, I will admit that in terms of the rivalry, I do want the Spartans to win. I will say that I think the Lionhearts do have the stronger lineup. You know, we've got Banana Man and Crow on that side. They've been playing in the Gfinity Elite Series previously. On the other side, we have Cheeky Lad, who's going to be the trailblazer for me. If I had to make a prediction, though, based exclusively off analysis and my own personal predictions, it would have to go towards the Lionhearts. But come on, Spartans, let's do it.
Definitely. Lionhearts looking to be the top seed, maybe second alongside the Clyde Claymores. But going into this, they should be coming out the win. However, we look to the aspect on Stratford Spartan of Cheeky Lad. A very, very much so a LAN veteran. I know they're playing online, but it is in sort of a LAN setting, of course, with the Belong centers. And he always brings through some great talent. So I'm really excited personally to see what team he has been able to mold here in Stratford.
Yeah, of course, former Epic Land champion, former Insomnia champion over the BYOC tournaments in the UK. So let's see if he can lead the charge for the Spartans on the right-hand side corner of your screen. Lionhearts, however, will score the first with Crisis scoring an absolute banger at the line 11 seconds in.
Yeah, Crisis at the moment is an emerging talent from the bubble scene in EU. and he is looking so good on the stage. 11 seconds in, that's all it took for Lionhearts to get the upper advantage.
And a kickoff going on the Spartan side once again as they try and take it over to the orange half of the field. It's Banana Man, however, the dribble back in. Backboard plays almost to Cloud, who comes in, subbing in for Crow this week. As Crisis goes back to the backboard, Cheeky Lad trying to hold down the defensive. Banana Man again keeps the pressure going on towards the backboard. It will be taken away. And Cloud holds down the midfield line here for the moment for the Lionhearts. Spartans now back on the backline defensive again. Seems like it has been a common trend over the course of this game. The pressure has certainly been favouring the Lionhearts side. A couple of good breakaways from Spartans, but the midfield rotations, the backline defence, looking quite good from the Lionhearts. They can very easily get back over to the red half.
Yeah, and that's all stemming from communication here for the Lionhearts, Jay. You can definitely see, we saw it earlier on where Cloud was up on the ceiling, nearly went for the shot and then got called off by Crisis. That is great to see. This, however, off the backboard is not open opportunity. Crisis with the shot, beckoning for it, and that is 2-0.
That is tragic. The whiffs coming through from everyone. Look at this. Musty missing out big time. And of course that opens up the net. Simple stuff there for the Lionhearts side as they go 2-0 up in this first matchup. Spartans struggling in the back line, and that's not a very good sign of things at this stage, Bacon.
Yeah, but it is a best of 5. This is early game nerves. You know, these players could have just turned up late after work, you know, to the arena, literally hop on the PC, not even get a chance to warm up. But game 1, use that as the warm-up. Get all the niggly little errors out of the way there and then go forward in the series confident.
Oh, Reimer trying to see if he can get a strike on target here for the London Lionhearts here, as Musty able to turn it back around towards the backboard. Cloud comes in to control. Cheeky Lad goes once again back off the backboard. Banana Man able to defend that. No trouble for him. And Musty trying to look for his way in, of course, against the 2-time Epic Land champion over on the Lionhearts side, and certainly proving that experience to his fold. He has been one of the standout guys so far in the defensive as Crisis tries to hold the midfield control. Musty challenges to the centre line. Cloud will take it over the Banana Man. Great passing play over to the corner. Teed off once again by the Spartan side, but Lionhearts able to put this pressure once again to good work. Crisis almost there with a shot on target. I'm going to go too far wide on the left-hand side, but in the end it will remain 2-0 for the Lionhearts as we approach the half-time.
Yeah, and all this power from the Lionhearts is coming from their build-up. Essentially, our defense, how they're passing between each other to get the ball downfield. It is so effective. And then essentially now you can see, once they've got that midfield line, it's almost like they're smothering their opponents. Little whiff comes out there, not big problems. Banana Man will look to get the counter going again.
Backboard, Cheeky Lad trying to set something up here for Spartans. Musty off the crossbar, but it will only go off the crossbar and bounce back away. Cheeky Lad with a second challenge, and Musty holds down the pressure again towards the corner, trying to work out this corner of the Stratford Spartans, but it will be cleared away back again by the London Lionhearts. Again, the defensive holds face, returns back over to the red half. Good plays in. Banana Man almost keeps that risky, but Musty there with a big miss, and Cheeky Lad can only hold down so much. Reimer will come back in. Cloud with his control from the sideboard back to the centre line and leave a Banana Man shot. Oh, action. That's a very good shot coming in from Cheeky Lad. A great challenge. Everyone a bit too far forward there for the Lionhearts.
Like we said, Cheeky Lad definitely the captain of this squad. And what does a captain have to do when you're down 2 goals, 1 minute 50 remaining, Jay? He's got to score. Leading his team. This game is still very much on.
Yeah, plenty of time for the Spartans. Lionhearts with the early lead, the majority of the game in the lead. The ball out to the corner. Reimer challenging for control. Musty's there to try and back him up. Cheeky Lad at the centre line. Bumps in. That could be dangerous, but fortunately Crisis is going to rotate back into control. Banana Man holds up and takes it over to the red corner once again. Cheeky Lad with control. It will be teed off by Cloud as Musty comes in off the sideboard, trying to hold the defensive. Bumps his teammate. Double commit. There could be dangerous, and he misses his second follow-up opportunity. Cheeky Lad has to take control. Cloud will be able to return. Crisis again off the sideboard, ready for a shot on target. This could go past everybody, but Musty barely gets the defense from the upper 90, holding down the back line, but the pressure still coming in against the Spartans.
Oh, Cheeky Lad unfortunately just missing that, but Musty coming through to get the follow-up hit. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Spartans in the build-up, especially from the first half in the game, but you can see they're still not together. They're not really getting these link-up passing plays going downfield. You saw that hit was just the clearance. That's not going to be able to make it past that midfield.
Man flick up, going to leave it for his teammates. Again, setting up the pressure here for the London Lionhearts as they continue to go towards that box. But Spartans having a good couple of breakaways. A demo coming in. This could be dangerous. Cloud will hold the defense. Crisis will rotate in. Banana Man here also to defend. And in the end, they will get it over to the red half. With 30 seconds left, Lionhearts only a number of away. Getting the first game on the board here in this series. Banana Man again to the backboard. Musty will take it alongside Cheekalad with a T back off and over. Crisis dunks it down, leaving it for Banana Man on the pass. Backboard play, not got enough boost to readjust his car. He's gone way too far to that left-hand side, but it doesn't matter because Cheekalad with a very awkward touch will keep it in the red half, and that might just be enough here for the Lionhearts. Banana Man keeps it down the centre line. Good shot in from Cloud, and that will secure game 1 for the London Lionhearts.
Yeah, brilliant reception in the dribble here, coming out from Banana Man to get the control to the centre, and Cloud was teed up beautifully for that one. Again, Cloud, a new player to us, Jay, especially coming into this. Haven't really seen him on the pro circuit at all, or even on the bubble scene, but some brilliant caliber coming out from him, and could be the starting points for a beautiful little career for this lad.
Game 1 going the way of his particular side as Lionhearts get it in a pretty decent fashion. Again, they held the majority of the match in the lead. Right. A couple of return and breakaways there from the Stratford Spartans, though, and there's potential, I think, for this team to do a bit more damage in the next game, Bacon.
Yeah, like I said, that game 1, very much a warm-up game. You've got to adjust to your opponents. What we know essentially is that Lionhearts were ready. They've got that communication. Who knows, maybe a bit of practice coming into this. When you look at Spartans, their defense was fine. I want to say it's more about that attack where they're not linking up, giving options towards the center for near enough the playmaker, the pass into. They need to get that nail near enough, hit straight on the head, and then they could start getting some beautiful goals.
Yeah, very beautiful goals coming through. I mean, the pressure there for the London Lionhearts was certainly something to behold, essentially. The Stratford Spartans did struggle quite a lot. You know, the defensive was able to get some counter-attacks together, but in the end, when you wanted to weigh up specifics on like how, from the eye test, everything kind of worked up to the favor of the pressure, like it seems like the pressure was definitely going the way of the London Lionhearts. They had such a good amount of control. The passing players were always there. Very few whiffs on the back line. It was only down to a couple of good challenges and overextensions from the Lionhearts that was able to concede that one goal for the Spartans.
Yeah, but I'm looking at that definitely going, they held out near enough, I wouldn't say 90% of the game to all that pressure, and it was only a 3-1 goal line. Essentially, those counters were coming out. The problem was the chase downfield. Maybe Spartans need to think about having that sort of cherry picker player, move downfield and be ready for that clearance. This near enough make some explosive counters because the current play style they're playing, unfortunately, is just playing right into Lionheart's hands, and they're enjoying it at the moment where Stratford Spartans might be having a good time. They're definitely having a good second game as it opens out. 3 seconds, the quick kickoff goal. Good kickoff from Cheekalad there, actually, against 2 players.
Yeah, Spartans, the nice opener, and this is a bit more like it here, just trying to, again, polish some of the small little intricacies and small little, as you say, niggles in the Lionheart sort of lines. So that might come to hurt them a little bit later on down the road here. In fact, the kickoff again going to go in favour of the Spartan side as they take it over to the yellow half. Musty up yellow. Cloud, going to be able to hold down the control inside the box. Reimer and Musty hold from the corner, again teed off by Cheekalad, who goes over to the right-hand side. Musty here with a redirect opportunity. We're taken away by Crisis as he booms it back downfield, and finally Lionhearts will be able to hold a bit more control at the midfield. Demos will come through, though, and the Spartans will try and get back out of this one. Lionhearts know exactly what they have to do. So far, they are doing it pretty well, Bacon.
I was looking at that from Spartans. Their rotations before that demo was just completely all over the place. Reimer was struggling to be able to pick up boost because, of course, they're covering similar areas. And when he rotated out, trying to form up the third man position, of course, had no boost to do that. So I was working from those small little pads, so it was only on about 30. That demo coming in just relieved that pressure and meant that they could turn this around. They're keeping the attack going. Game 2, brilliant adjustments coming out from Spartans.
Look at this, they're going to get another offensive play going on towards that backboard. Musty can't quite keep control. He's been a little bit off position, but Reimer, however, he's going to get a second goal in for him and his team. 2-0 up for the Spartans.
Yeah, Crisis trying to control that. Got completely thrown through a loop. Banana Man expecting that to be all safe, fine and dandy. It was not. 2-0. Oh, how the tables have turned, Jay.
Look at the kickoff coming through again. This could be a dangerous ball. Banana Man's going to take control of it, and he will be able to do so. But look at this, Ryama. Great response. Second touch taken away by Musty. Was a little bit off angle. I don't know if Ryama could have been able to pick that up, but I think that's probably a misplay on the Spartans' second man regardless. Still going to be 2-0 for their half at this stage. As Crisis challenged again towards that corner, bounce back into the center line. Spartans can't quite find the shot they need. Cheeky Lad's completely out of boost, and now the backline boost is going to be stolen away here by the Lionheart side. Still Ryama coming in with a defensive. Cloud passing into Crisis, back over to Cloud, could tee it back off the Banana Man. Back ball played, fantastic sequence, and Lionheart score their first in game 2.
This was everything with a little bit of icing on top thrown in. That correction from Cloud to get the hit onto wall, not going for net like many players would be tempted to try and get that zero angle goal. No, he saw everyone was jumping up in defense because of course they've got to cover that net. No, hits off the backboard, sets up for Banana Man, who can just tippy tap it away.
Pinch is coming through from Lionhearts. They try and get this equalizer together. It's not out of the realm of possibility just yet as the ball goes into the midfield. Cloud tees it over to the red corner, and Musty holds his control. Banana Man, great interception though, and that's all you need to turn the tables back around with the Lionhearts. We're 2-2.
This seemed way too easy. Big mistake from Musty, as every player knows you don't take it across goal, especially with a weak hit. He's been punished for it, Jay. Let's just hope he won't get punished again.
Banana Man controlling into the yellow half once again. Good challenge by Cheeky Lad. Again, keeps it close and dangerous, but no real follow-ups. Musty out of the back ball one more time. Banana Man's got to be the man to defend it, and he will be successful in doing so. Ryama now controlling in. Crisis will beat him. Cheeky Lad comes in with a shot. Ryama could have bumped someone in the back line, but in the end, he was too far back into the yellow net rather than anything else. Spartans will keep the pressure going so far. It has been a great pressure adjustment as Crisis comes over. Ryama bouncing back over to the center line. Chance available for Cheeky. That is denied by Crisis as he goes over to the midfield. Musty is there to receive it. And Nod from Lionhearts quick to the counter-attack. The back pass will work in their favor, but Lionhearts will make their way forward and eventually keep it inside the red half.
Risky old times. I'm loving these creative build-ups coming out from the Lionhearts, but you can see that they're being forced to go out of the box. They're forced to go creative because the Stratford Spartans know all the plays in the book. And so you're going to have to write a few themselves. Lovely little pinch there from Crisis to set up Banana Man once again.
3-2 on the Lionhearts board, looking like things are back in order apparently here, Bacon. Spartans have had a pretty good time, you know, had their 2-0 lead. It was nice and fun, but now Lionhearts are going to hold the expected positions here. Musty and Cheeky Lad still playing to try and recover though. They could very easily take control of this one. Nice sequences together, but recovery sequences, the touches weren't amazing from Spartans. As Lionhearts come in, Banana Man going to be forced to rotate back. Ryama has been the star for Spartans, scoring both of their goals thus far. Musty in over to the midfield. Cloud with a shot. Cheeky Lad there to defend it. Banana Man going to be missing out too.
Big
Musty's
hit.
part of things. Ryama with a very big hit. You're right about that. Fakes out from the Spartans, and it is very dangerous in this ball. Crisis challenged by Musty. Takes it over to the corner. Cloud will be there to adjust, but it's a centered up ball, and Banana Man will beat any of the Spartans players to it, so they can get it back over to the other side of the field and keep the pressure going into Spartans. They need a goal right now. If they score one more for the Lionhearts, this might be game 2 under wraps, and a nice open net for Cloud will certainly give them that lead.
Yeah, and this all stemmed down to focus on ball control, making sure that they kept possession of that ball between the players. Oh, it felt like just a game of keep away from the Stratford Spartans there. It was almost unfair. It was almost like bullying them.
Ball in once again. Lionhearts going to try and bully them some more. Over to the corner. Banana Man and Cloud. Good plays, good fakes, good bait of the defensive, and that is Lionhearts showing us what they can really do. 5-2 at this stage, Bacon. 45 seconds on the clock. You've got to imagine this is game 2 under wraps.
Yep, definitely. After all that, you might be thinking, great game. GG, get this over and done with. Go to game 3. London Lionhearts look to be wanting to sweep this. They've got the brooms out and they're in force. But we have seen reverse sweeps, Jay, haven't we?
Indeed we have. Certainly wouldn't be the first time if it happened right here. The Spartans got a little bit of work to do. They are still going to try and fight their best in the last 30 seconds of this game. I mean, it's not impossible, but 10 seconds a goal. very, very difficult. Again, I've seen it done before, but very, very, very rarely. And indeed, Lionheart's wasting that first 10 seconds back over in the red half. Musty and Cheeky will try and get some sort of control. Cloud sees it over to Ryama, just wasting even more time as he passes back down to Cheeky Lad, who's not in position. Banana Man can take that off to the corner. Missing out his second touch, but into the centre line. The ball will be played as Crisis comes in. Good return, nice off the post. And it will not go in, but it will not matter. Lionhearts are stalled for enough time, and they're going to be 2-0 up in this series against the Stratford Spartans. Oh, hey, achievements. Yeah, and everything like that is going to be is going to be sort of like proving its worth for the Lionhearts side. Although Stratford Spartans in the early part of that game, they look like they showed a bit more bite than they did in game one.
Yeah, that's what gives me the glimmer of the hope for this reverse sweep, essentially, is that after the game, it was 2-0 to the Spartans. They just lost their way a little bit because their opponents realized they all came down to dribbling and essentially controlled the ball. Like I said, the possession game where they could etch out the win that way. Spartans are, you can see, a little bit less chemistry based. They haven't focused on playing with each other that much. Like, I look at Lionhearts and I'm just looking at Banana Man and Crisis, especially knowing those lads play six-mans together. So they're going to be used to each other at this point, And so coming into this tournament, that's why they are the hot favourites. The Spartans are learning it, and remember, this is just the group stage. They're still a hot favourite to go on through to the playoffs, and who knows, by that point, they could be an absolute force to be reckoned with, as once again in the early stages, they are just a wrecking ball.
Yeah, this kickoff, this backboard play going well to bait out the first two. Crisis not in a position, and Cheeky Lad recognised that right-hand side was so exposed, and he shoots towards it, getting the first goal in 19 seconds for the Stratford Spartans. The question now remains, can they hold on to their lead? Can they extend it to a point where Lionhearts can't turn it around like they did in game two? Now an unfamiliar territory for the Spartans side, but again, it's all down to the questions. Down the midfield, it will be played out here. Cloud up, Cheeky Lad in, over to the ceiling, onto the backboard. 3 points to boost, so can't carry it much further than this. Bounce back in for Musty, leaves it for Ryama. This could be fantastic, but it's going to be too far wide, and Banana Man will hold on to control. Crisis beating out the likes of Cheeky Lad will go down to the left-hand side. Cloud in, once again passed out to the centre line. Cheeky Lad holds his own control off the sideboard. Ryama bounces off the corner to the backboard one more time. Crisis will be able to tear back away, but Musty there for the defensive. A little bit off position, but he will keep it away from the Lionheart strike.
Yeah, and you can definitely see here that Lionhearts are trying to slow down the play, near enough bait out their opponents. It didn't work that time. You could see very dangerous. Lionhearts are having to figure out their opponents on the fly and are looking for new strategies. Like I said earlier, they've got to write the book right now because standard plays aren't working. That's good to see from Spartans, but they've got to be a little bit more adjustable.
And backboard play, dunk down chance for Musty. That will be the 2-0 for Stratford Spartans again. Is exactly where we saw things go down in the last game. And again, the question now is, can they hold this lead against the Spartans, or will Spartans turn it back around?
Ask them be adjustable, Jay, and they go and just flip it onto the backboard. I love it from Spartans. We're hoping for this to, well, we hope for every single series to be a game 5 scenario. Stratford Spartans definitely looking like they could do it. They look like they could have won the last game in the first half. They've got to make sure they look like they can win it all the way to the 0-second mark.
3 minutes to that 0-second mark, and the pass is defended by the Spartan side. Cloud holds down the midfield. Cheeky Lad and Ryama still able to get it over to the yellow half. As Crisis comes up, Cloud also here to receive. Puts it over to the left-hand side for Banana Man to go back of the backboard. Second touch will not be allowed as Musty comes in of his own right. And Cloud will be there to support it. Booms it back on target. Ryama there for the defensive this time alongside Cheeky Lad, also rotating for the double commit. Musty now with a breakaway chance against Banana Man. Banana Man does adjust and does keep it away from the net for the moment, but again it's Spartans with all the pressure. No one in the back of the net. Musty backboard, Cheeky Lad passing to the centre line, but where's their third man? Ryama's so far back, going for boost, will bounce it off the backboard. Musty with a recovery play, does shoot, but Banana Man gets off the backboard and holds the back line.
Great pressure coming out from the Spartans here, and you'll notice one thing: Banana Man has been stuck as that last man back in defense time and time again. Notice all the goals coming out from Lionhearts. Near enough, Banana is the one to finish him off. He's always involved in the plays. You can definitely see that the rotations are a bit funky, they're a little bit off, and that the Lionhearts are uncomfortable.
Demos coming into the midfield. Spartans trying to see if they can relieve some of the pressure coming in from the Lionheart side. Good play in from Crisis. Banana Man's there behind him. Fantastic play from the Lionhearts, and once again they strike first. It's looking all too similar at this stage, Bacon.
It is indeed. With 1 minute 53 remaining. That is near enough. So much time to be able to get 1, 2, maybe even 3 goals in. We've seen it before from the Lionhearts. They're going to try and give us a case of deja vu again.
Right, well, Zoo already set up off the kickoff, but breakaway here for Musty. There's no one in the net. It's awkward flicks, so this could open up a chance of the rotations that are coming from Lionhearts, and indeed it does. Cheeky Lad still shoots over to the left-hand side, and Crisis will boom it back downfield. Ryama with control. Musty and Cheeky Lad in of their own right. Once again, bouncing off the corner board. Cloud takes it up high, leaves it out for Crisis once again. Banana Man also challenging. Cheeky Lad leaving it for Musty instead, as he takes it over to the yellow half. Ryama with a challenge, and it will go bouncing once again, centered up, chance available, but not going to happen for the Spartans side. They're going to have the backboard, disrupt the ball's path, return it back over to the midfield, and keep it away from the incoming counter-aggression from Lionhearts.
It's really coming down to the wire. The Banana Man on the ball looks real dangerous. You can see him throughout the fake, the infield pass. It was brilliant, but what was even better was Cheeky Lad's read to be able to stop it. Double commit in net could be a little bit dangerous, but they're making sure they don't concede. Spartans are just trying to hold on. They're going to hold on even longer.
Barely recovered there by Crisis. A big miss from his teammate. Cloud will try and return it back over to the red half as Musty gets challenged by Crisis. 30 seconds as Cheeky Lad goes back off the backboard. Cloud and Crisis here to return and over to the midfield. Pirama going to go back over. It's a perfect chance, and the overcommitment this time is punished by the Spartans. 3-1. We are not done yet.
I'm such a happy little boy. I'm loving this. I was not going to be happy. Like, you know, after the problems of last week, coming into this week, I was like looking at this going, right, we've got 2 games that could go the whole way to the best 5. We definitely thought this one was. And when I got the hints of a 3-0 sweep, it didn't give me much joy, but this definitely is.
10 seconds. Spartans will be able to stay alive, keep the reverse sweep dream alive as they keep it in the yellow half. No chance for the clear and attack here for Lionhearts at this stage. And indeed, Cheeky Lad will keep it on the floor. Keep it alive for a moment here on the part of Banana Man, but there you go, bounce over to the midfield. Maybe one strike could come in with a goal to give him a bit of a momentum boost here for the Lionhearts, but in the end it will be Spartans with their victory here in Game 3, again staying alive. 2-1 in the series. It is still going to be match point for the London Lionhearts, but Stratford Spartans, still plenty of opportunities available for them. Again, the reverse sweep is on.
Like I said, after that game 2, there was the glimmer of hope from what they could do in the first half. That glimmer of hope is now a light at the end of the tunnel. It's still a ways off, Jay, but they can get it. It is beckoning them, and they're going to try and reach the end of that tunnel. Looking at that last game, though, for me, big step up coming out from Reimer, being able to get onto the ball and just basically playing a lot faster to counteract the Lionhearts with pure reactions. You can tell that they're not really working off communication at this point. They're just going from game feel and near enough sheer will and passion to win.
There we go, game 4, excuse me. Wow, it's that cold bacon. The game 4 between Lionhearts and Spartans. The Spartans try and equalise against the Lionhearts to kick off. This time I'm going to favour the Lionhearts side as they pass back in. Banana Man to Cloud. What an angle, what's a block, what a follow-up there from Cheeky Lad with a secondary touch, keeping it away from the recovery player, the Lionhearts side. And Spartans a little bit of a brush with death right there. That certainly could have been the end of their opening goal. Banana Man comes up musty there with a challenge. Ryama over to the corner once again. Demos in. Cheeky Lad, chance to strike, defended by Crisis, and Musty will have to come forward from the midfield. Beat out to beautifully done. Spartans get their first again.
I am gobsmacked at this. That bump coming out. Cheeky Lad. I love it when a player lives up to his name, because that was so cheeky there, Jay.
It's great sort of like heads-up play as well, because he knew that the backboard play was going to go right into his teammate. If he can beat the first defender, you beat the second by shoving him out of the way. It's perfectly with the rules of Rocket League. This ain't no football. First on the ball within the first minute as it ticks by here. Lionheart's trying to get the back line defensive, and it is kind of crumbling a little bit. We've seen more and more defensive mishaps coming in from the Lionheart side. The Spartans are happy to capitalize as a result here. Iama, Musty playing off of each other to the backboard. Crisis over to the corner. Must have been another great touch to keep it in line for the Spartans. Cheeky Lad this time, he's the one getting bumped. Musty and him going to try and pinch it away, but all three players caught in the midfield. There's a perfect breakaway for Banana Man, but Rayama just comes in and holds his nerve, holds down the back line again for the Spartans. Clear away should come through from Cheeky Lad as he does get it to the yellow backboard. And the Lionhearts they strike back for a couple of moments in time. Very spread out position from the Lionhearts, from the Spartans, I should say. What? And that is going to be a big mistake on their part.
I'm quite happy that Dom in the background actually just turned off the in-game chat, because I can imagine a lot of what a saves being spammed there at that one. That's a yikes for me, Jay, coming out. That is a mistake which you don't want to be making, but luckily the Spartans did have the safety net set up. They don't have it for that one. They're now on the back foot.
Not a good sign here for Iama. Hesitation. Crisis booming it over to the right-hand side, and that is going to be a shame because Spartans again with a fantastic striker. Couple of defensive mishaps from their side as well. Talking about the Lionhearts and how they kind of messing up on their back line. This time it's Spartans doing the exact same. As the ball in, Cheeky Lad tees it off. Banana Man holds down the control. Banana, good challenge against the first man. If he beats out Musty as well, that'll be fantastic. Cloud's there to back him up there, just directly behind him in the centre line. Cheeky Lad comes up. Crisis again, going to move it back down to Cloud, who tries to back pass in towards Banana Man, who tees it off and goes for the aerial dribble right into the red half for the flip reset, but no. Cheeky Lad just holds the defense, just keeps it away.
That's it. In that situation, he did get the flip reset, but he was going for the fake. That is proper 200, nay, 300 IQ plays there. The problem was he overthought the situation, and his opponents read for it.
Bounce back in from the corner at half-time. Ball in for Rayama, set up by Musty, but again, all three Spartans players caught in the offensive. This is Banana Man tries to strike. Back to the backboard, can't quite make it happen. Cloud will still shoot to score, but it will go way too far wide and not directly down towards the net itself. The Spartans can once again challenge for the midfield. Rayama comes in, passes over to Cheeky Lad, missed out, fake almost comes up good for them, but Crisis there to save them in a crisis. Maybe might have to do it again, and indeed he will be able to do so. Spartans now really ramping up the pressure against the Lionhearts as Musty misses out. Oh, this could be very dangerous. Crisis allowed to take control, but a great recovery, as you say, by the second player at the Spartan side. Cloud working off the corner. Rayama will tee it back over. Crisis is so ready on the adjustments, on the rotation. He keeps down control for the Lionhearts. Ball into the center line, and Banana Man just tees it away from Spartan's control. No shots allowed, no backboard dunks, no centered up shots.
Yeah, you saw Crisis there just trying to slow the ball, putting it off to the side. Allowed time for his teammates to get into position. That's because boost is such a luxury for both ends of the field at this point, purely because everyone is using so much of it. This is such a pacey game. It is so enjoyable to watch.
Well, Musty challenging, and 1:10 on the clock. Spartans only a goal down. The challenges coming through from Lionhearts all the same are keeping them away from getting those opportunities at the net. And the pressure coming out as well has certainly been getting to the Spartans. Look at this breakaway coming in from Cloud. Rayama going to take it back over to the midfield, but can he set up the shot? Can he go for one of his own? Either for his teammate to the centre line? Yes, he will, but no one's there to receive it. Musty 3 seconds late to that one. And that's going to be a bit of a turnaround again for the Lionhearts. Once again, they're going to get over to the red half as Banana Man bounces over to the corner. Cheeky Lad into the centre. Perfect chance for Cloud to strike, and he won't do so just yet. Still keep the pressure going here for the Lionhearts side. Musty, ooh, that's a very awkward touch. No one's in the net. Cloud got all the control all the time, but Spartans just rotating up. Banana Man going to try and keep that pressure going, and he will be successful for the moment. But Spartans finally with their breakaway chance denied by Crisis, denied by Cheeky Lad actually. As Cloud comes in again, bouncing, pinching it away, and this time they are going to caught heavy in the aggression. 3-1, a counter-attack. 13 seconds for the Lionhearts to take the victory here in the series.
And it all came down to that 50-50 coming out from Cloud. Banana Man got called onto it. Cloud, knowing where that ball was going to pop out, definitely experienced in those 50-50s. And Banana Man just having the sheer gusto, the run downfield onto it. That has secured it, for me anyway, for the Lionhearts. It's going to take a miraculous miracle, which just does not seem to be turning up for the Spartans.
3-1 will be on the board for the Lionhearts. Good effort shown up by the Spartans, however. Again, plenty of talent being shown there, especially in those last couple of games. You know, again, they had the lead for at least 3 of the 4 games that we had over the course of that series. You know, Bacon. So, yeah. I'd have to say, you know, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised that my boys were able to show up in the manner of form. You know, again, I was expecting the Spartans to not be the victors, to be the underdogs in this one. The Lionhearts certainly proved that by taking the 3-1 victory. But some of those games, pretty close.
Yeah, definitely. You saw again from the opening first game that Lionhearts had that chemistry. Spartans, I said it beforehand that this is a team which probably is going to have a very weak start to the group stages where, you know, they've got to figure it out, essentially. Going into next week and further, they should be able to get things going a lot better. They've already had the 2 hardest teams in their groups to face up against. As you know, going forward, it should all be wins, but we'll see, because it's going to be a tricky one, because as we said, this is near enough the group of death.
Yeah, very difficult task for the Spartans ahead of them. The Lionhearts, however, their first game and their first win on the board as they look to skyrocket and take a bit of a tie against the Hunters and the Harriers right now at the top of that table. We'll go to those tables a little bit. For now, we're going to get into our second match of the night here, Bacon. Of course, I do believe that our first match was certainly a closer one, but we'll find out whether or not this second one will be just as close. As our second match of the day will be the Kingston Harriers versus the Humber Hunters. So yeah, that top of table clash is about to go down.
Yeah, looking at this, the Kingston Harriers and the Humber Hunters both on 1 win at the moment. He has got some immaculate 1v1 skills. Maxons and Belfazor, I do not know anything about. We look on the Humber Hunters side as well. When we look at Basic, Fresh and Pan Cods, these are lower level players. We've got both Fresh and Pan of Champ 3 and Basic of Champ 1, but the side of Kingston Harriers, all GCs. This, on paper, should be an easy sweep for the Kingston Harriers, but who knows? The Humber Hunters coming out of the mist, coming out of nowhere. I dare them, I challenge them to take down the Kingston Harriers.
It will be a tough task again. You know, we've seen Tagmata, what he can do. He's competed again sort of amongst the likes of, you know, your Banana Mans and your Cheeky Lads and your BYOC lands. So, you know, I'm expecting this one to be a very decent fight for the Harriers side. You know, certainly, as you say, I would expect them to be the victors in this series. I'm not sure whether I go so far as to sweep again. I kind of want to see what Hunters can do. You know, I want to see what the guys over from Fresh and Basic and Pancos can actually, you know, what their actual skill set is and what they can bring to the table against the Harriers side, because, you know, at the end of the day, the rank is only so much. You know, the rank doesn't. I don't think the ranks actually give you like a constant sort of a measure of skill. You know, I think it's more of a measure of consistency more than anything else, Bacon.
Well, ranks is more about that environment. Most people, when they play ranks, queue up solo, or if not, you play with your friends. You're not in this environment where you've got competition. It is completely different. We've seen, you know, just say on the pro circuit, some of the RLRS teams taking down the RLCS in more of the weekly competitions around the whole of EU. We see some of these teams come out of nowhere where it is just a few friends essentially that have been playing together. They know each other inside and out, take down the teams where you've got some ranked warriors essentially where they're players which are a high skill and they just look at each other and go, okay, we're all grand champs. Let's just sign up for this tournament and we should win because we're high level players. And they don't work like that because they don't have the chemistry. Here, I'm looking at the Humber Hunters, like I said, with that win already last week, should be in for a good chance here. Who knows? We're going up against Tagmata, Maxons, and Belfazor, and this is a team, like I said, which I expect to be fresh to each other at Kingston. And hopefully they can mesh themselves together, but I'm expecting another Spartan situation from them, where they're going to come in, probably that first game, they could be a little bit sloppy, a little bit rusty.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't unaware of who they beat in their first game of the season, obviously Humber Hunters beating out the Bristol Smugglers and Harry's beating out the Stratford Spartans. So, you know, they've got a little bit of
3-0 as well.
Yeah, it's 3-0s in the case of the Harriers. And obviously we've seen what the Spartans can do against arguably the best team in this particular group. So you know, there's certainly a lot of potential on that Harriers side as a result, no doubt about that. Again though, you know, I feel like that potentially team play could be something to factor into, especially for the Hunter side, because we saw in that Spartans versus Lionheart series how the team player, the line, looking more confident, and therefore gave them the edge when it came to taking on their opposing force. So let's see if the Hunters can bring that team play up to play for here. They are on the right-hand side of your screen. Harry is in the white side now of the field, going to strike with the first opportunity on the net. 2 good shots coming out, but both of them defended by the Humber Hunters.
Yeah, and one thing, Jay, we have not noted, one thing I'm loving about the Belong Arena Clash is that we're actually using the Belong Arena's colors. No more of this just blue and orange, none of that box standard basic. We get colorful here, and I absolutely love it.
Take notes, Psyonix. As looks like Humber Hunters might have to start taking notes of their own right. Good pinches and pressure coming in from the Kingston Harriers. They get a lot of the pressure on towards the Humber Hunters side. Backboard plays again in to the likes of the box. Hunters will be able to clear back over the other side. Pineco is going to fall back over as Bells missed out by Basic here. Backboard play, second touch opportunities available, but all the defensive just about holds down for the Kingston Harriers. Pressure coming in, and Humber Hunters almost just teed it in, but in the end, the first goal will not be scored in the first minute.
And this is the 1v1 skills we told you about with Taggers. Look at that, to get it downfield all on his own and to pick up the boost as well, denying his opponents on the retreat. Beautiful stuff. I'm expecting to see a lot more of him play as that third man where he has to pick up the defense but also try and instigate some stuff downfield.
Look at these challenges and pressure plays coming in from Humber Hunters. Again to the backboard, again to the corner board. Basic, 80 points of boost. Good shot in. Going to be taken away here by the Kingston Harriers as Shezza leaves it to the mid-line. Spells back over, again to the backboard. Miss from Basic. Chance available, and Tagmata will be able to take that goal in. Kingston Harriers again playing with that backboard, playing as a team and playing for their first.
Yeah, unfortunate little whiff there in defense. You've got to pre-jump the ball. You've got to go out and challenge that because, of course, naturally you're closing out the angles, aren't you, Jay? So, of course, you're predicting where your opponent's shooting it, and unfortunately just predicted wrong there. First goal going to Harriers, but I don't think that's all she wrote for this game. You know, I don't think that's just going to be Harriers running away with it. Hunters have got some real class.
Well, Taggers coming in alongside Bells of Thought. And for Shezza, Max ends. And try and hold down the centre line here as he keeps it inside that box. Tagmata going to be missing out. Spine Codes goes over to the backboard once again. Second touch, and again, these challenges looking good for the Hunters. Basic, unfortunately, going to get beaten out to the ball. Shezza missing. Oh, this is very dangerous, and Bells are thought happy to punish. It's going wide. A big whiff, an open net available for the Kingston Harriers. And that 2-0 will be denied for the moment here at the halftime marker. Tagmata still going to keep that pressure going, and Max Ernst will go once again back to the backboard, leaving it in once again for Bells. I thought it's off the crossbar. What a blunder from Kingston Harriers. Twice in a row they've had the perfect opportunities, and they can't seem to get it in. Tag going to go off the backboard, misses second touch, and the third chance wasted. The breakaway will come through. That's over aggression for Harriers. This is Shezza's chance to strike. He leaves it for Basic, but it's going to be taken away by the Harriers side. And the Humber Hunters on the other side of the field can't quite get it done of their own accord.
I'm loving the contrast compared to the last game, but no, I'm not loving that. Maxons using some sort of Jedi mind tricks here, pops it up, and is going to be an own goal into that, unfortunately, from Shezza, who tried to clear it into the backboard. Cannot blame Shezza for that. Like I said earlier, it's the predictions just did not have the pace to catch up in time.
There you go, 2-0 finally awarded to the Kingston side as Maxons goes in for a strike back against Basic. Basic will be able to defend him. Miss out the second touch of the ball. Maxons will leave it for Tagmata. Pinecos goes over to the white half, over to the corner. Maxons over and out once again off the sideboard. Tag goes in to the centre line, and Bells over to the right-hand side. We'll try to tee it up and over to the backboard. Pinch off the corner crease. This could get dangerous, but no one able to capitalise. Bells, I thought, tries to back pass in, leave it for his teammates to rotate up, and will challenge for midfield control. Pick up the 100 boost. The Shezza comes in, bounce back over from the corners. Tagmata goes in and out, bounce up. Basic again, kind of try and follow through and keep the pressure going for the Humber Hunters. To the centre line, shot available, but it's going to be taken to the right-hand side of the Harriers.
I was almost scared about that pop-up into the air, Jay, there. Way too much time allowed for that to be hanging in front of the goal. Really, the bigger question is just how Humber Hunters did not want to attack on that, but that set-up play, Jesus, that was good off the backboard.
Well, Bells backboard one more time. Tagmata Almost like a domed opportunity there, like a Justin shot, but in the end, the recovery play from Tag will get the 3-0 in, and Kingston Harriers dominating as you kind of expected in this one. Humber Hunters, unfortunately, a couple of good potential plays, but now that the Harriers are warmed up, they are just looking on fire at this stage. 4-0 and 60 seconds left on the clock. This is looking like it's game one all wrapped up.
Yeah, like you said, looking on fire. They've started, they've got the flint out, the sparks are in, and now it is just blazing away. 1 minute left in game one. Okay, that was a nice response. I was going to say, Jay, if I'm thinking, for the Humbers here, the Hunters have just got to take this first game now and just go, okay, we just got to figure out our opponents with the last minute remaining, go into game two strong with a plan, but if they're willing to get 3 goals in the next 57 seconds, by all means, lads, do it.
50 seconds left here for the Humber Hunters to try and turn it around. Again, it's very unlikely with the time given, but this sequence could look really good. Oh, beautifully done from the Humber Hunters. 2-4 now, and these goals coming in thick and fast. You imagine the pacing got to do to try and equalize against this scoreline, and Humber Hunters, they are setting it in record.
I love that passing play. Just absolutely bamboozled the Kingston Harriers. Thrown through a loop. They did not know where on earth to go. Taggers trying to just respond with some power hits, but that ain't good enough to break down the defense of the Hunters.
Sheza and Basic trying to challenge for control. 30 seconds again to the midfield. It will be taken away to the blue half. It pops up here. Basic goes in, it bounces over to Pine Codes as he misses out his touch here. The backboard plays once again from Basic, leaving it out for Sheza as it bounces up and goes into the midfield. Belzathor with a clear back over once again. The Hunters running out of time to get this equaliser. Pine Codes will still leave it. Tagmata will beat him. Sheza tees it back off and over, and Belzathor there with the defensive to keep it out in no man's land, which should be enough to take the game victory here for the Kingston Harriers, the first game on their board. But I will have to say, especially in the last few seconds of that one, especially in the last 60 seconds, Humber Hunters, pretty impressive team plays to try and put a few more goals on the board than they would have expected.
Yeah, so that pretty much gives us hope going forward. Like we said, this on paper could be a 3-0 sweep. Looking towards the second half of that game, as long as you get that communication going, do get communicating with each other and set up those team plays, it is anyone's game. I can see how they took that last game last week against the Bristol Smugglers. Let's just see. Let's not make any predictions just yet. Let's let this game breathe like a nice fine wine.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the right sort of approach to this one, because again, it was a case of, well, the Harriers have the firepower, they have the potential, they have the rank, they have the talent names in there. But the Humber Hunters, they're the guys that are the unknown elements. We have to see what they're really made of. And there's, again, much like all the other underdogs we've seen so far in the Arena Clash, we have seen a lot of potential out of the likes of the Hunters side. So let's see what they can do here in game two. They've got a very good start already. 3 seconds in, and the Kingston Harriers with a kickoff, bounce up, follow-up, dunk down. It's a first.
Yeah, you're talking about the potential of the Hunters. How about the sheer and utter talent of the Harriers? A well-coordinated and planned kickoff goal. That was just beautiful.
Look at this from Maxens again, trying to try and follow through with Belzathor. Now Tagmata going back over from the sideboard. Going to try to keep the pressure going in on the blue half. Pine Codes challenging again with a secondary 50-50. And Humber Hunters will be pressurised against here as the ball goes up once again over. Maxens at point blank goes for the dunk down opportunity. And this time, much quicker goals here for the Kingston side as they go 2-0 up against the Humber Hunters. Only 30 seconds into this one, Bacon.
Yeah, brilliant little play up into the top right there. Perfectly working the numbers, perfectly working the angles and time to be able to set themselves up for that. 30 seconds in, Kingston Harriers are coming out with a response, because remember, Hunters got those last 2 goals. Harriers coming into game 2 are like, nah, we're taking this.
Oh, and Tagmata comes in for a third strike here. 3-0 for the Kingston Harriers. Not even 60 seconds into this one, they are looking really good in game 2.
Yeah, and a goal apiece. The 3 Musketeers out on this pitch here. Urban Central is being blessed with absolute lovely, lovely goals.
What happened to your voice there?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It just
What happened to
is.
this breakaway as well for the Humber Hunters? Shezza getting the strike. And where were the Harriers in the backline? All three players trying to commit to that ball. That was the biggest of triple commits. And that's going to hurt them, Bacon.
That is, because you got to think this is all about the confidence. This is all about morale here on the pitch. So a 3-0 situation, most of the time you'd be disheartened and that could be game over. Hunters, to be able to turn it around quickly, get that response goal, can really set up some good things.
Oh, only 60 seconds, 4 goals to be scored. Certainly one of the higher goal amounts we've seen over the course of Rocket League in competitive nature. It's basic. Pinecodes hold down the challenges in the back line. Response, however, comes in from Maxens, and I think Shezza was bumped out of the way. Regardless of how the defensive messed up, it's going to be a 4-1 for the Kingston Harriers. And at that stage, it looks like Humber Hunters may have already conceded game 2.
Yeah, and the problem there, Pinecodes, with the hit off to the side, he really needed to get into the curvature if he was to buy some time, because that was just back to the center. It's one of those basic mistakes, and it is that pressure moment. Nice reception there from Basic, though.
Tagmata bouncing once again. Second challenge from Basic will come through as he holds his nerve, going up and over. Second touch, dunk down opportunity, but that was a thought. Trolls it over towards that corner. Pinecode's back over, bouncing to the center line. No second player there to receive it for the Humber Hunters, so the clear will come through from the Kingston Harriers. Once again, they're back on the counter attack. Pinecode's with control. Maxens challenged by Basic. Bells a Thor bounce over the Tagmata as he booms it back downfield to the backboard. And it goes off the crossbar behind the last line of defense. A 5th conceded by the Hunters.
Talk about thread and needle with this one. Shezza going up for it, not able to reach it, didn't have the boost. And Tigers crossbar and down. 5-1, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Wait, it's not even that. It's 1 minute and 50 seconds in this. We've had 6 goals. Absolutely ludicrous Rocket League going on.
Could even be another one here, although the Harriers are taking up their offensive pressure. Look at Belzathor with the greatest of ball control. Shezza will challenge for it, and Basic will come forward once again. Tee off on target. Tagmata will get back for the defense this time around. Off the sideboard, he'll carry it forward past the first man. Belzathor going to try and tee it back over to Tag to try and get it past the second, but Basic there for the recovery. Great adjustment play from him. Will try and break away back over to the Harriers half. 2 minutes and 30 at half time. It is going to be a 5-1 lead for the Harriers squad as passes in once again to the infield, and Tagmata will score the 6th for the Kingston Harriers, looking for the full-blown Brazil at this stage here, Bacon.
I reckon we're going to get that and even more. At this rate, you can possibly even see a double Brazil, which has got to be so demoralizing for the Hunters. After that game 1, towards the back end, we thought magic could happen, but in game 2, Harriers just pressed down with their thumb, essentially, rubbing salt in the wound here.
Yeah, certainly coming alive, you know. The first game was pretty dominant. The second one, however, even more so for the Harriers squad as the Humber Hunters try their best to get a consolation goal in at this stage. That was a thought. Challenged by Shezza as he goes back over to the corner from the sideboard. Bounce in again will be received by Maxens as he goes up 5 points of boost. Can't get his secondary flick in. It's way too late for that, but Belzathor still goes by the backboard. Secondary recovery not going to be allowed. Both players commit. Tagmata comes in with a shot, and it is going to go wide and slow. Recover from Maxens. Again, going to take it to the backboard. The defensive of the Humber Hunters do hold it down as Belzathor just clears it out to no man's land. Actually perfectly placed for Maxens to take control. The demos will come through eventually as Maxens leads it for Tag. Right on the line. One good touch from Humber Hunters will just keep them spared from embarrassment.
Yeah, Humber Hunters, the reason why they gave up so many of those goals, Jay, was essentially because they were pushing, throwing everyone forward. They were desperate to get goals. Now that the game is sort of like gone into Harriers' secure favour, they're looking to game 3, and this is them trying to come out with strategies, and you can see their defence is able to hold up. They're looking a lot stronger. It's all about the mindset for these games.
Ball in for Basic. Demo out on Maxens, but his sacrifice is noble as he keeps that second away with the Humber Hunters. As Pinecodes goes back to the centre line. Second touch will keep it in the midfield. Tagmata booms it in. Belzathor trying to receive it to the centre line one more time here. Perfect opportunity. And there we go. Full-blown Brazil for the Kingston Harriers as they look to take game 2 with particularly confident fashion.
Oh yeah, there's got to be an absolute fiesta going on in Kingston right now after this result. Just immaculate plays coming out from Kingston Harriers. We were thinking, we already knew going into this that they were going to be one of the top dogs, but we were not expecting it to be just this absolutely dominating force. Their chemistry is so strong between these players.
35 seconds as Maxons goes back in. Tagmata with the 8th. One more for good measure here for the Kingston Harriers, as if the 7-1 was not quite enough. 8-1 will damn near secure it at this stage. This is completely unrecoverable in 30 seconds. And Kingston Harriers, again, we were expecting them to be the victors of this one, Bacon, but it has been, again, a bit more of an overstatement, really, than anything else for the boys in white.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And I'm looking at this, and yep, I was about to say it, I reckon we're still going to get more goals. And there is a 9th. Are we going to see double digits?
10-1. 101. 101 on the board, boys. 101 Dalmatians up for the Kingston Harriers. 20 seconds to do it in Bacon. Let's see if they will make it happen, whether Humber Hunters will concede or whether they'll again spare themselves from even more embarrassment. Pine Codes goes up. Rams, just holding down by Basic. Control in, clear out towards the blue half. 10 seconds remaining as Tagmata comes in, off, over, backboard play taken away. Boom back downfield. No one's in the net. Belzathor will just get back in time as Pine Codes holds it. Basic challenges. The ball should hit the floor. Tagmata will try and keep it alive. They want the Dalmatians, mate. They want the Dalmatians.
Come on, rule 1.
Maxons can't keep it up for much longer than that. And there you go. The Harriers 2-0 on the board for a simple 3-0 sweep series, Bacon. Has been very confident, I must say.
The Harriers are insane. Like, that's it. They are just a whole bag of nuts, Incredible after that first game where, finishing 5-2, where we did start to see the Hunters come back in. It was like, the Harriers aren't just near enough immortals. They did look like they were susceptible to damage going into game 2. They were just like, no. We let off during that last minute. We were allowing them to score because this is what we really can do. 9-1. I have not seen that wide a goal margin on such high level teams for a while.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're right about that much. It looked like it was. I don't know, again, I've seen 10-1s in the past, but not quite at this kind of a level. It's always been community level, open sign-up sort of stuff, where there's always clearly a better team competing against a very clearly lower level team. And I don't think it was quite as clear this time around, but certainly if the first game is anything, the second game is anything, or the third game is anything like the second, then we'll be looking at a very, very simple affair for the Harriers going into game number 3. Could be a simple affair, potentially, Bacon. Again, we have seen some potential out of the Hunters, but what do you say their chances are for a game in this series now?
A game in this series is a possibility, but I highly doubt it after that one, because essentially you can now see that Kingston Harriers are really well warmed up and they're super confident. And I'm looking at this, it could once again essentially be another high-scoring game, probably not another 9-1 where they'll be looking to improve and reduce damage. But as we come into this game, there was unfortunately a little bit of a problem with the back end. We couldn't get in time, but 2-0 already in favour to the Harriers, Jay.
Not a good start again for the Humber Hunters in the early 60 seconds, but we'll see whether they can try and recover as again the pressure comes in from Maxon. Great dribble control, and Pine Codes will turn it back over as Belzathor and Maxon's over towards the corner. Belzathor going to try and take control. Tagmata there with the redirect. Oh, what an angle, but it doesn't go in. Belzathor with a great recovery opportunity, but Basic able to hold it down. And Maxons will keep control in the blue half, at least for the moment. Sheza beaten out by the demo, but Tagmata and Belzathor again with control over to the Humber Hunters half as they try and redirect it in. Good challenges again from the Hunters will try and keep things defended, but again, they have to try and turn it into a good counter-attack. They are 2-0 down in what will be the deciding game for the Harriers. Make it 3.
3-0 is a damning scoreline again this early. The Hunters are trying so many different things, but unfortunately not able to hold out. is a case against it's a case of just taking a hammer against a brick wall, and it is finally crumbling.
And Harriers already in position to take yet another one. A very confident affair, a very confident start in their group as of right now. Ball in for Belzer Thor as Tag Mata holds down the back line. Pineco is going to challenge on the Belzer Thor as eventually Tag does come forward with that striking position again, expecting that challenge to come through from the counter attack of the Humber Hunters. And Harriers will be able to keep the control and the pressure going in. Tag beating it, demos come out. Maxans passes over. 2 players on the commitment there. Just going to get a chance for Maxans as he passes back over to Belzer Thor, passing out to No Man's Land in the corner. Tag Mata will come in with a recovery. Great sequence, great pass, great shot, but not going to go in.
What I'm loving from what we're seeing from the Hunters is when they keep their heads cool, they can pull off some real good stuff. For me, this is a team to watch as they develop, and I can't wait to see more of them, especially in this game, because you can see these blocking plays in the midfield are really quite nice. It is unfortunately just that reaction, that nervousness in defense, Jay.
Halfway through this third game, and we will get a fourth from the Harriers side. A bit of a defensive blunder there from the Hunters as Belzer Thor threads the needle against the likes of the Hunters.
Dirty demo coming out in there, but it's within the rules. Like you were saying, this ain't football. Literally going for someone's shins is perfectly allowed because these cars don't have shins. Probably sure they have feelings though, and are going to be a little bit upset after that one. 4-0, like you said, Jay. Harriers looking to absolutely make a statement. They put on their game face, their war face, and they are absolutely roaring.
And this is the kind of team that could get extremely scary because, yeah, Humber Hunters aren't exactly a team to be, you know, like potentially contending against the Harriers side, but the way that the team play formations have formed up when Harriers have hit their highs, the way that this team has sort of played around the ball and played around their opponent's half, it feels like this could be a team to be reckoned with. You know, they've already got the victory above the Spartans. You know, I think they've got Lionhearts in a couple weeks' time, so those guys better be watching these ones with intent and trying to figure out a game plan because if Harriers are playing anything like this on the day they face the London Lionhearts, then potentially that first place placing in the table could be a bit more contentious, I believe. But for now, Belzer Thor and co bouncing into the box. It will be Maxans to the back ball looking for his second dunk down opportunity. Exactly what I'm talking about. Great handling of the ball in the air. 5-0 for the Harriers.
Yeah, Maxans, like I said, send this off towards the back post, near enough trying to remove it from any other players. A lot of players at that point would have just gone straight to net, thus it had been saved. So no, hitting off the backboard, hitting it to himself, and then being able to drop down there, just trying to reduce any angles, making it, of course, harder for him to shoot on net, but he's got the skill to do it, and he knows that the importance is making it harder to save.
Well, 60 seconds left on the clock, and you got to imagine this is probably going to be lights out for the Hunters here in this series. 5 goals to make up in 60 seconds, make it 6 in 60 seconds, 10 seconds apiece for the goal. And yeah, it's just not going to happen, Bacon, is it?
It's not. I think the most ludicrous thing I've seen is 4 goals in 60 seconds, and we're talking about a team that just suddenly poofed out of existence, you know, where they just were not there. So for the Hunters to be able to do anything, especially now that it's 7, just make it Brazil for us.
Make it Dalmatians, you know, they've already tried for it once at this point, Bacon, you know, like, let's see the 101. Well, 7-1, certainly on the cards again. We've seen 1 Brazil so far. I wouldn't be surprised if Harriers just like stayed still for this kickoff and let them have it. Or not. No, Tag's gonna make it honest. Belzer Thor over to
competitive Rocket League, Jay. This is the Belong Arena Clash. Everyone's giving it their 100%. You're not going to roll over because you've got pride on the line, even a goal at this level.
Okay.
When you coming into this, they were on, you know, they were the underdogs coming in by a margin. So
in fairness, right? In fairness, we have seen goals purposely conceded by RLCS level teams just for the sake of teams, okay? So don't blame me for wishing for the best in terms of the comedy value here, Bacon. The 15 seconds remaining on the clock as Maxans does get the 8-0. Kingston Harriers in this final game going to be holding down a 3-0 with an 8-0 and nothing but dominance coming out from the boys in white.
I'm trying to think as well with more like scoreline related jokes that you can get, because I do like the 101 Dalmatians You rarely get to see that as well because it is such a dominating scoreline.
Certainly not one of the only dominator scorelines. Okay, there you go. One more for good luck for Pinecoast. He does get a consolation prize on the board for the Humber Hunters, but again, you can only take so much away from it. It's pride, it's luck, call it what you will. It's going to be a 3-0 sweep for the Kingston Harriers as they decimate the Humber Hunters in their final game of the week. And yeah, in the end, you're going to take so much away from it. It was the expected victors beating out the expected underdogs. And the Kingston Harriers can walk forward with their top placement so far, 2-0 in the table.
Yeah, and Harriers will be going on to face off against the Bristol Smugglers next week, which should be another case of a dominant victory for them. It really comes down to the fifth week where they do go up against the London Lionhearts. And that is, by all accounts, for most people in this group, the one where you're going to see the top seed essentially come out of the group. And I love that. Each week you get different aspects, you get different games. Because next week, I'm going to be looking to the Lionhearts versus the Hunters match. And I wonder how the Hunters will, develop from that. Because they're really learning their steps, they're basically experiencing trial by fire, where they're having to learn the competitive top end of Rocket League. And they're doing it with the experience here at the Long Arena Clash. And it's not easy for them, so we have to commend them for that,
Yeah, absolutely. Even though we have seen the underdogs being ultimately beaten out by the favourites of each of these series, again, a lot of potential being shown out by the boys over from the Hunters side, because again, they had some opportunities available. They punished some great offensive plays coming in from the Harriers side. They have a great backboard play as well coming in the last 60 seconds of the first game. The same thing with the Spartans as well, where they were also punishing some mistakes from the Lionhearts. It's like, a lot of potential for some of these lower level teams, and I gotta respect it. I gotta like it. I gotta like what we're seeing out from these guys, and we'll be looking forward to some of those bigger matches again. I think that the Harriers versus Lionhearts match could be one to keep your eye on, I think.
Yeah, and one to keep your eye on for next week, because we do have to line up, will be Tyneside Guardians going up against the MK Enigmas, and Cardiff Saints going up against Craig Von Kestrels. I can't wait to get into that. And of course, if you want some more Belong Arena action, same place, same time, 6:30 BST next Tuesday for more Rocket League. But tomorrow night, Jay, we've got some Overwatch, don't we? Are you going to be tuning in for that, of course?
It depends how ill I am, because this cold has been getting worse and worse per the day. But the Brawlers taking on the Smugglers and the Saints taking on the Pirates all tomorrow at the same time, same place, 6:30 p.m. BST for the Overwatch Arena Clash. But for the time being, Bacon, we are done for the day.
We are done indeed. So massive thank you to, of course, all the players for playing in today. You guys at home for watching. Big thanks to, of course, my co-commentator here, the Eternal J. Big shout out to the guys in the back for making this run. And of course, we'll be back next week, same time, with some more Rocket League here at the Belong Arena Clash.